Do you like seeing really cool things on the internet? Well, I do, but not only do I like seeing them, I also like doing them. So in today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to test out some of these most viral, awesome clips from around the internet and see if they're actually impressive or legit. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Screen Tested. I am your host, Tyrant. Now, the clips that I've got today are some of the coolest things that I could find on the interwebs. Now, I want to see if these things are actually as legit as they appear to be, and whether or not they're impressive or not, or whether they require additional context. So, getting started with our very first clip, we have one from Eddie Hall, the Beast, a former World's Strongest Man. I can't remember what year he won in, but I really like Eddie Hall. I like the stuff that he does. I like the content that he makes. I think it's really interesting and cool, right? And this was a clip he did, I think it's a couple of years ago now, where he is bending a frying pan. Now, this is an interesting clip because there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of context that's like required to kind of understand whether or not this is impressive, I would say. So first and foremost, doing a feat of strength like rolling up a frying pan is very common. That's a common feat of strength, but it's also a little bit of a trick, but there's also a lot of nuance here. So the first thing is, depending where you are in the world, you're gonna have different types of frying pan. He's in the UK. I don't know what the standard type of frying pan in the UK is. Same as the US. There are different types of frying pans in the US versus in my country. And then you also get into the issue of there's different price points for frying pans. I know you didn't expect me to talk about cookware opening up today's episode, but this is really important because whether or not this is impressive really just depends on the individual frying pan itself. That's the biggest variable here. And there are obviously lots of different materials for different frying pans. This is cast iron. There isn't a human on earth that could bend or roll something like this up, right? Then we have very thin frying pans that aren't really impressive. And sadly, in a lot of the clips, they look like this sort of thing. A very thin piece of metal is not difficult. It is not a hard thing to do. This is not impressive. You've also got to remember there are different grades of material. For example, like aluminum frying pans. A lower end frying pan is probably going to have a low grade of aluminum versus a higher grade, which is going to have more strength. There's a lot of nuance here, guys. A lot of nuance. Now, I will say, honestly, that the frying pan that he has in this particular clip does look like a very low end, cheaper frying pan. I'm going to be honest here, specifically because you can see that it looks like it's a stamped piece of metal and it has a rolled edge, and usually if it has a rolled edge like that, that means the material is quite thin. Now, that may be the first reason why that this isn't that impressive. But something like this I would consider to be the more common frying pan in my country. It's about maybe 4 millimeters thick of aluminum. These are very common. This is what most people will use. So this is what I'm gonna bend just as a demonstration, right? There's something I should also mention is that I know it's probably more impressive that it's a big frying pan, right? But it's actually harder to bend smaller frying pans because you have less surface area. So I'm using this one just because it's what I've got at the moment. As you can see, it's being used, right? Rip that off as well. So I ended up getting a bow on the center, which is really not ideal because it means when I try and push sideways, it's pushing up. So I just ran out very quickly to get another frying pan. This one is a smaller version, so it should be a little bit more tricky. So that one rolled up a lot nicer. You can see, because the bottom, the machined bottom on this one, it just crumpled up. Smaller ones, much more difficult. And this doesn't take anything away from like Eddie Hall, right? He's one of the strongest dudes on planet Earth. His legacy is doing the 500 kilo deadlift, one of the most awesome feats of strength. a human has ever done. So it's not like he's not a strong dude, right? I just think in this particular case, it was a little bit showmanship for the camera, specifically because it's not that I don't think he could roll up a much more substantial frying pan. I just don't think he knows the technique, and that's the frying pan they gave him. So, if you're enjoying today's episode, you should consider subscribing. It is free after all. I've seen a bunch of these clips, snapping baseball bats with an ankle lock. I want to try it. First off, let's just watch and see how they do it. Like 3 baseball bats. Like, see, I'm a little bit out of the loop in terms of like baseball, right? It's not a sport that's played in my country very commonly. So first off, baseball equipment is super expensive, but it also is, I just don't know the difficulty, essentially. I have no idea. This here is the baseball bat that I'm going to be attempting to break. It is made out of maple. I don't know if that makes it easier or more difficult. Don't really know much about baseball. We don't really have it in our country. This baseball bat here is from a previous project. White has the holes in the top of it. It's still completely solid, completely a monster. So what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of a cushioning on it, a little bit of a rag, just to protect my arm a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. I didn't expect to be able to do that. Holy shit. I just surprised myself. It was actually quite difficult to do. It puts a lot of strain on your arm, and this one's legit. I like this one. And honestly, when I see the people doing like 3 or 4 baseball bats, I'm like, there is no f***ing way I could ever do that. Like, that's insane. I was able to do 1, and like, maybe on like a good day, if I'm at my best, maybe I could do 2, but doing like 3 or 4, there ain't no way. There are no way I'm doing that. So that one, I think this is impressive. I like it. All right, next up, why cutting paper with a katana isn't as easy as it looks. Cutting paper is not difficult. I reckon this is something that you could probably teach someone in like 5 minutes. From the looks of it, it looks like the biggest difference that they're doing is tip speed, like the tip speed and wrist movement. I've got a feeling this is going to rely a lot on edge alignment and the sharpness of your particular blade. Yeah, it's pretty easy, man. I expected that to be more difficult, but so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and do what they did in the clip that doesn't work. At least I think. Yeah, okay. So the difference in the 2 cuts is one has a little bit more wrist movement and allows you to move the tip of the blade a little bit faster, which for this particular sort of test, if we want to call it that, helps. So to do it again, yeah, see. So that's like a 2 or 3 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. Really easy. It's purely just, I guess they're trying to just teach them how to get that tip moving a little bit faster so they can help cut through things a little bit cleaner, obviously, and a little bit of edge alignment, I guess, probably. Another Eddie Hall one. This is something that I'm actually really into. Not like I said, I'm actually genuinely a big fan of like Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw. Their like arm wrestling journey recently has been something that I think is absolutely awesome. I love watching those episodes, especially with like Devon. I would really like to get into arm wrestling, honestly, but there's nothing around me at all. So, and people get annoyed every time I go, hey, you want to arm wrestle? They go, F off. Anyway, this one is a grip strength one. 82.9 kilos, and I think we have he has a little bit of a ranking. So Martin Ford 82.9, Eddie Hall 81.8, Brian Shaw 81.4, Tommy Fury 69.2. Tommy Fury is a boxer, right? So That's the numbers that some of the strongest dudes on planet Earth are like getting, right? Now, I will do one for you today, but context is important. I injured my arm twice, actually, in the last couple of months. Hey, members, injured myself. Is what it is. Anyway, let's crack on. And I'm currently dealing with a tendon injury on my right arm, so it's very painful. So just to be clear here, normally I wouldn't do a, trust me bro type thing, but in this particular case, I'm gonna have to today. I will show you a clip of, like a clip I did ages ago, where I got a reasonable score, but I'll also do one for you today, and I'm probably gonna get super low, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm injured, but I want to do one anyway. This is really impressive, that 81.8, like Eddie's at 81.8. That's like insane, right? And I think, who was at the top? Tom Stoltman, 88.4 kilos. I'm pretty sure Tom Stoltman is currently the world's strongest man. 0 kilos. I'm actually super injured. Ah, shit. Oh, 71.5. Oh, that's the best I'm gonna get today with my injury, like just period. But I do have a clip of me doing a little bit higher. That is at 0. That's at 0.
He's gonna get like 70.
That's at
80.
0.
Yeah, just like
62.
That's not bad for today. 78.4. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
That's not even my highest though. So
We know why. He's single.
I'm a married man.
So like I said, this one is a little bit of a trust me bro type situation where I've gotten to the 80 a couple of times. Like that was where that's kind of like where I would max out. But obviously I don't have a clip of that. I have what I did today, and I have the clip that I did like a year ago or whatever. Maybe I'll have to do it again when I'm not injured, but this is super impressive. Like these are big fucking dudes, right? And grip strength is one of those things that is actually super useful just in like your daily life. It's one of those actual strengths that's like a functional strength. So having good grip strength, especially high grip strength, transfers into your daily life. You use your hands for everything. So this one is definitely a difficult, like getting like 82 kilos. That's like a 9 out of 10 difficulty. Really hard to do, really hard to do. I might have to do another one at the end because I'm competitive and I feel like I can do better. Nunchucks, nunchaku. All right, I see these clips all the time of people using nunchucks, the broken stick, as it were, and they're fun. They're fun to look at, they look impressive, but they're not difficult to do. I quickly made some out of duct tape. They'll probably hold together, at least for this very simple demonstration. Like a 2 out of 10. So when it comes to these, I think people are often impressed by the wrong thing. Like this guy here with these 2 little katanas, these little wakazashis, is really impressive. Doing regular cuts like this is easy. You can practice to do it and you'll get better at it. The straw one, I've seen him do a lot of interesting stuff. It looks really fun. Straw looks like a fun medium to cut with. Obviously, I often use pool noodles just because I don't really have tatami in my country. I have to import it and it's super fucking expensive, especially if you're doing a lot of cutting, which I do. So pool noodles are the most reasonable solution for cutting. However, tatami is by far the best cutting medium on planet Earth. It is so fun to cut with. This dude, like here, cutting what, 5 tatami, this is impressive. This is actually impressive. This guy here cutting what, 7 by the looks of it? This is what you should be impressed by. Cutting 7 tatami rolls. They look like single rolls. They don't look like double rolls, but that's impressive. The reason why I bring this up is because on all these edits, on all these compilations, they always have the most impressive thing being something that's not as impressive. Like this old dude using the katana, it's impressive that he can use the katana, but obviously the clip is super sped up. But The dude cutting 7 tatami is way more impressive than the last one. Not that the last one isn't impressive, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the edit is like, yeah, this dude cutting 7 tatami rolls in one swing. Yeah, that's normal, that's normal. Then this other dude doing a regular cut on a single roll of tatami. It's like, no. The dude cutting 7 tatami, that is hella impressive. And the reason why I bring this up is because obviously we're debunking, we're giving context, and we're saying what is actually impressive. So this, it's all impressive, right? Everybody's doing great cuts. I think it's all impressive in their own right. But the dude's cutting like 5 to 6 to 7 tatami rolls. That is by far the most impressive. That's like a actual 6, 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. That's quite difficult. Just before we finish out, I hope you guys are enjoying today's episode, genuinely. And if it performs well, then I would like to do another one. So if you guys have got some more clips that you think are worth testing or taking a look at, then leave them down below. I'm more than happy to check them out because I enjoyed making today's episode and I hope you guys are currently enjoying it. All right, let's finish out. But when it comes to a lot of these clips, a lot of them are 100% legit and super impressive. There are some ones there where it's like, you know, context is required. You know, some of the things that look impressive might not actually be that impressive. A lot of the swordsmanship ones, a lot of people kind of think, you know, this is impressive, where it's like, no, that's actually way more impressive. But in general, they are a whole bunch of fun clips. I have respect for all these people, you know, trying to do cool stuff on the internet. It's what I do. I love doing cool shit, and I hope you guys enjoy doing cool shit as well. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you wanted to, you can support the channel down below. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that out of the way, I'll see you next week in another episode. Have a good one, guys.